Do you believe in God?
Elon Musk's personal views on God and religion are as astounding as they are controversial. Actor Rain asked the outspoken billionaire whether he had a spiritual life when he interviewed him. In his response, Musk ended up addressing the big question of whether God exists. Check it out.
Do you have a spiritual life?
Well, it sort of depends on what spiritual means. And there's certainly things that we don't understand about the universe. But I'm less convinced that there's, say, some super consciousness watching over our every movement and kind of evaluating it against some criteria and deciding whether we're going to go to one place or another when we die. I think that's unlikely.
Right.
Rain continued to interview Musk on what he worships. From Elon Musk's response, it was clear that he was an agnostic, but not an atheist, as most people would think. As an agnostic, Musk neither believes nor disbelieves in God, since the existence of God cannot be proved. The physics guru only believes in facts and science. Listen to Musk's response in matters of worship.
What do you worship?
Well, I don't really worship anything, but I do devote myself to the advancement of humanity using technology. And it does beg the question, if there is some superconsciousness, where did the superconsciousness come from? So I think the most likely explanation is that complexity evolved from simplicity. That the simple elements over time combined to become more complex and arrived at what we are.
The tech genius made it clear in the interview that science and religion cannot coexist. The former economics student from University of Pennsylvania was probably borrowing from Karl Marx, a German economist who said that religion is the opium of the masses. The deeply religious Rain was shocked to learn that Musk doesn't pray. Have a look.
Can science and religion coexist?
Probably not.
Do you pray?
I don't. I didn't even pray when I almost died of malaria.
Purpose was infused in all everyday events to make sense of a dangerous, difficult, and uncaring world. So we had rituals behind the sun, the moon, the planets, the wind, the earth, the oceans, in all societies. The rise of our physical understanding has slowly caused us to do away with those many gods. We no longer have Mars, the god of war, Poseidon, the Greek god of the sea, Thor, the god of storms. As Michael has said, everyone here, or maybe everyone, is now an atheist with respect to those gods. And there's a reason for that. Science has taught us that instead of capricious beings, there's an order to nature. And that order does not appear to involve a divinity. There's no need for a divinity. Laws of nature, describable by mathematics, make predictions that allow us to not only predict the future, but control it, without the need for any supernatural shenanigans. And in fact, it amazes me that asking the question, is God necessary, is somehow an evil thing. When we stop asking questions, that will be an evil thing.
The whole thing of humanity from the beginning, because the human being is so curious, they did not want to submit to the message of the Anbiya because their curiosity killed them. Right? Meaning, they figured, all right, look, God means power, so let's worship the sun. The sun is powerful. So they worship the sun. Some worship the moon. They figured the moon is power because it brings you the tide and all that, and gives you light and guides you at night, blah, blah, blah. Some people worship the stars. They figured God should be really distant and high. Some people made God animals. Like, hey, the lion sounds like a very, very powerful thing, so let's worship the animals, the lions. So some people worship lions. Some people worship monkeys. They figured monkeys jump, hey, they're very fast, why don't we worship monkeys? Some people worshiped elephants because they're symbol of might and big. And then when humanity realized as it evolved that really the lion is not the strongest thing, and the elephant is not the strongest thing, and the sun is not that far, and it really is not God, and so is the moon, they figured the human being can kill the lion and can kill elephants and can actually even reach the star. That's not a problem. And the moon and the sun is within reach as well. They figured the human being is God. That's why you see a lot of notion lately to worship the self. Self-deification. They deify themselves without saying myself is God, but they give it all other attributes per se. If myself feels this way, righteousness stems from myself. Religion, if I believe in it, must be according to how I feel and my sentiments and my wishes. I am the benchmark, not religiosity. Because if religiosity differs from me, there's something wrong in it. I need to go find a view of religiosity that is consistent with myself. Because I am, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, as they say, God. Without saying I am God. Today what's peddled in the world is self-deification religion. If you know it and identified it, then you're smart. If you haven't yet seen that, then you haven't been looking. Not saying anything else. You haven't been seeing things. You haven't been analyzing. That's why you see people troubled with faith, troubled with social values, troubled with society, because now instead of Quraysh had 360 gods as idols, but today there's probably 1 billion of them that people think that themselves are actually the source of truth, validation, absolute truth, validation, and many other things. He sees all. But I'm not asking you about where is he? He's the creator of all wheres. He doesn't need a where to exist. Matters do. Masses do. He's the creator of all places and all spaces. When was he? You're asking me about a time, but he's the creator of all time. He's not subject to time. Time is his creation. وَلَا إِلَهَ غَيْرُهُ. There is no God other than him. There's no creator other than him. There's no deity other than him. For those who self-worship, yourself is not God, no matter what your shaitan tells you. No matter what your shayateen tell you, actually. From the jinn and the ins. You are not God. You are a helpless, hopeless creation without God. And you're a lost one too without him. You are perfectly created to reach the highest of highs with your creator. But you're also equally, you can sit, but you're equally capable of going to the lows of lows without him. So don't think too much of yourself because you're his creation. But think very much of yourself because you're his creation. I don't know how to put it. That's just the facts. Are we on the same page? طيب. لا إله غيره. If there were 2 gods or 3 gods or 4 gods, contrary to the truth, because the definition of God, the creator of all, the creator of all, that means if there are other gods, he's their creator. That means they're what? They're not gods by definition. Are we on the same page here? Very good. So, the creator of all, there is no other gods with him. Why? Well, if there are other gods with him, contrary to the truth, does he need them or he does not need them? If he needs them, then he's not God because he's not Samad. What was the definition of Samad from yesterday? Samad is what? The one who is not in need of anything, for anything, yet everything is in need of him for... I didn't hear that right. So, As-Samad means the one who is not for anything, yet... I didn't hear it well. As-Samad means the one who is not in need.
Of anything for anything, yet everything is in need of Him.
How can He be God and He's needy? You've got needs? When you have needs, does that mean you're powerful or weak? Does that mean you're dependent or independent? You're not God, sorry. You all have needs, so congratulations. For those who had any delusions about anything or had been listening to things, you understand that. So, contrary to the truth in our view, if there were other gods with the creator of all, does He need them or He doesn't need them? Well, if He doesn't need them, then they're useless. Can God be useless? So they're not gods. If He needs them, then He's not God, because He's got needs. He is not the creator of all, and He is not Samad. A Samad is what again? The one who is not in need. Yet everything is in need of Him for everything. So it seems that He needs them, therefore, well, that cannot be God. La ilaha ghayruhu. There cannot logically be any other God other than the creator of all. If there were 2 or 3 or 4 gods contrary to the truth with the creator of all, can He will for something to be and others will for that very thing not to be? If He can, then the others are not omnipotent. They can't do what they want. If He can't, then He is not omnipotent. If there are 2, 3, 4, 5, can one know more than the other? If He can, then the others are ignorant, and therefore they can't be gods. If He can't, then He's not all-knowing and not all-powerful either. So, all these things eventually lead you to understand that even, not just theologically, but also logically, that the creator of all is absolutely one. Nothing is like Him.